Hey, welcome back. It's Leah. I've been thinking about how it's so cold outside. It's been snowing in New York for the last few days. And I've been thinking about the animals that hibernate in winter and how I, for a number of years when I was younger, hibernated through my life. And how many of us do this? See, you often do not even realize that you are hibernating until you're able to look back at what has happened and all the time that's passed and how you feel like you haven't progressed anywhere. Hibernating is not just getting depression and taking long depression naps and literally sleeping through your life. That can be an aspect of it, but that is not the full picture. Hibernating through your life can absolutely look like being overly addicted to media, to consumption, being addicted to unhealthy things, unhealthy habits, not working hard enough and never pushing past your comfort zone, never moving forward in life to any degree, not even at a snail pace. And you don't realize that the reason why you're doing that is because you feel like you are powerless to change the circumstance that makes you feel stuck. Just like the animals that don't have wings to fly down to Florida for the winter and that have to stay up here in the north, and they cannot obtain the necessary amount of resources to keep their metabolism going, they will just sleep it through. They will shut down until a better time comes. That is often how we end up living our lives, just trying to ignore that time is passing us by, trying to ignore the fact that life is happening right now, and just looking at, oh, what is the next shiny thing that's going to grab my attention? And it's all self-soothing, because you feel powerless to change a circumstance. And instead of facing that situation, meeting it head on and trying to be creative and just realizing the truth of it and seeing what are ways that I can get past this, you decided to shut down. You decided instead, well, you know what, I can't do anything about it, so I'll just wait until something changes on its own. And I'm here to tell you, you cannot ever get out of it until you realize what's happening, till you're honest with yourself, and then you do something. That's the only way it's ever gonna happen. It's just like the stages of grief. You can't move on until you find acceptance. You can't move on from the situation and these coping mechanisms until you accept that, you know what, I'm not happy about whatever aspect of your life or the ways that you behave or even the people that are around you. I'm not happy, this isn't for me, and I'm just gonna have to take the harder option. If it's like, for example, these people don't treat me well, partner, family, friends, so I can either choose to be completely alone, and that sucks and I'll feel lonely, or I can choose to hibernate through the fact that I'm not happy with the way that they treat me, but I'm just gonna accept it for now because the alternative is also terrifying, but you tried that already. And what's happening is you're living your life unhappily, you are shutting down in different areas of your life. When you start accepting less than you deserve in one area, that starts to just take over, and that becomes a way of living. That becomes a part of who you are. The ways that you behave and what you accept from yourself becomes your character. So what you end up doing is making that a part of you, and then you let yourself go in other places, and you end up looking around like, why am I so unhappy? Why am I not doing anything with my time? Like, what have I done? Oh my god, I'm addicted and I can't stop. You're not addicted because that thing is addicting. You're addicted because you need a filler to get you through the fact that you feel like you are powerless to change your circumstance. So first you need to realize what it is that is making you this unhappy. What do you need on the inside? What is lacking, like a sense of purpose or fulfillment? It could be like a more vague thing that is harder for you to see, but until you come to terms with the fact of what it is and not keep trying to fit yourself into somewhere that you don't fit, not trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, or I don't know how that saying goes. Instead of trying to do that to yourself because you think this is what things should be, this is what I thought I wanted when I embarked on whatever journey, when I set up my lifestyle, I'm realizing that that's not really what makes me happy now that I've had the experience. So I'm going to give myself the permission to change. But another thing that I think also occurs is you start to overcompensate and overperform and work harder and faster and do more and like move more to the point of exhaustion. That is also the other extreme. On the other end, if you feel like you are living exhausted, you don't have enough time for anything, you feel like you are easily burnt out, on edge, maybe you have anger issues, you're constantly stressed, you feel like you always have to keep going and doing so much, you are facing the exact same issue but on the other end. So if you generally don't feel peace and clarity, if you constantly feel overstressed and overburdened with life, if you are not living your day-to-day with peace in your heart because you feel like there is too much, I'm here to tell you that overperforming and squeezing yourself is not going to give you what you think it will. I used to do this a lot in my job that I've talked to you guys about. I was at for 2 years that was so toxic and really drained the life out of me. I realized that I myself, one of my coping mechanisms was I thought for some reason subconsciously like, you know what? I hate this. I don't like being here. So I'm just gonna work faster and do more and do more. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. I was able to work so fast that I was able to do more than what I was required to in a lot less time than everyone else around me. And I started to leave. I would literally, I'd take yoga classes, I'd go to the gym, I'd come home, have dinner, literally take a nap sometimes, and that never made it any better. And I realized the problem is not that this takes up too much time out of my day. The problem is I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like these circumstances where I am at. No matter what I do to try to change the circumstances around this thing, it's just not right for me. It will never be, no matter what I try to change about it. So I need to stop trying to force myself to fit into somewhere that I just don't. And this is true of many people in relationships, in professions, in lifestyles in general. If you are met with a lot of resistance, and if it's especially coming from within yourself, I'm here to tell you, like, no matter how much you overwork yourself, you are not going to escape the circumstance of your life. You're not going to escape the job. That is not a solution. If you are not happy and living in peace, you simply need to move out of a situation where you are living in a stagnant manner, or remove yourself from a situation in which you feel that is so inescapable that it is sucking you dry. If you feel like you're constantly pushing yourself past your limit, to do the most, to hold a relationship together, to make someone accept you and like you, just stop and breathe. If you don't feel peace now, no matter what you do, it will never change. If you don't already naturally feel peace, it will never change. And this is kind of leading me into a different type of topic, which I don't want to like drag this video on for too long, but I think a lot of people do this in relationships. You know, that's, oh, but we're so compatible in all of these ways, but we're like a 50 or 60% match, but the other 40%, I can change. I can make them change. And inevitably you cannot. Or, oh, I need this job, I need this money, so let me find ways to squeeze myself in, to make it more tolerable. But at the end of the day, if it's just not fulfilling to you, or if it's not paying the bills, no matter how many corners you cut, no matter how much you go without, if it's not paying you enough, you just need to do something different. Oh, but I like the environment. You try to squeeze yourself into that because you're thinking, oh, I'm doing something that's good, I'm doing something meaningful with my life. But at the end of the day, if you have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to survive because you are holding on to this thing, just let go. Literally just let go, because you're gonna end up doing that eventually anyway, later on. So wouldn't you rather do it now and save yourself the time, or would you rather wait 5, 10, 20 years down the line? All right, and that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.